So, as part of the My Favorite Anime discussion, I decided to make this video about Recreators, which is not actually my favorite anime, but you should watch it anyway. Quick disclaimer, the reason I decided not to talk about my favorite anime is because it's so popular that I'm sure someone else will say whatever I would say, but much better. So I picked my favorite anime with under 500,000 members on my anime list, so it's more likely that people haven't seen it. Sorry, Full Metal. One other thing, Recreators does deal with some adult themes, including suicide, which is part of a major plot line in the series. I won't be talking about it here, but if this is something that you're not comfortable with, consider passing on it. With that said, viewer discretion is advised. So, what is Recreators about? In today's anime world, we're overrun with shows to watch, especially great isekai, like Re:Zero, Konosuba, not you. That's better. But the thing about Recreators is that it takes the concept of isekai and turns it on its head. For example, take modern day Tokyo. What do you think would happen if this guy was suddenly transported into our world? Even worse, how do you think he would feel if he knew that all of the awful things that he and his loved ones experienced only happened because someone else said it should as a form of entertainment for others? I think he'd be almost as pissed off as when someone calls him short. Well, that's basically what happens in Recreators. Soda is your average high school student who loves anime and games and draws in his free time. He ends up entangled with a bunch of characters from some of his favorite stories who are rightfully confused and upset after being transported into our world. Soda tells them to meet their makers. No, not like that. More like this. This guy is the original creator of her story, and as you may have guessed, she's pretty pissed at him for everything she's had to go through. In fact, they're all pretty pissed. And that's actually why they're here in the first place. The military uniform princess summoned them all to the world of the gods because she seeks revenge on the creators who brought so much hardship on her and others for their own amusement. Ultimately, this results in the reverse isekai cast falling into two factions: the ones who are pissed and want revenge on their creators, and the ones who are pissed at their creators but at least want to try to talk it out first. So begins the battle between the two groups and the world's reaction to the events that unfold. So, who made the series? First, the director. That would be this guy, A. Aoki. He's directed a number of different series, including Fate Zero, It Invaded, and also this one, but we're just not going to talk about that right now. Next is the original concept creator. That would be him, Rei Hiroe. As you may have guessed, he's also the original creator of Black Lagoon, one of the original badass action anime. Notably, Black Lagoon stars Revi, one of the greatest certifiable badasses ever. I'm pretty glad I got to include a giant picture of her in the slideshow, to be honest. The last person I'll talk about is Hiroyuki Sawano. If you've ever heard an anime insert song that was an absolute banger, there's a pretty good chance that he was involved. For example, he did the composition for every season of Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, 81, and also this show, which I very much do not like because it is not good. No, sir, I do not have a scale figure of Inori in my home. Absolutely not. I really don't. I'd also like to mention the production studio. Recreators was produced by Studio Troika. They haven't actually done too much, but some noteworthy series would be All Noah Zero, Bloom Into You, and this season's Shinobi no Itoki if you happen to be watching it. I'm not, though. So I've told you about the story and the staff, but what really makes this series worth your time? There are two things I'll talk about that makes Recreators special. The first would be the large and diverse ensemble of characters, straight from the off-brand anime bin. We have Asuna, but way more interesting. The NPC from the tutorial of every fantasy JRPG you've ever played. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Joker, if he was in the Yakuza and not a high school student. Shinji with the backbone. Ugly Himiko Toga. Saber with way fewer gotcha pulls. Probably another Fate reference. And an angry Vocaloid. Any character trope you like or dislike can easily be found here, and watching the characters interact in unexpected ways is incredibly fun. The other thing I'd like to mention is the originality. Like I said, in the current anime environment, you could easily end up with two nearly indistinguishable isekai in the same season. For real, if anyone knows how to tell these two apart, please let me know. But for every 6 isekai cheap magicians, you also get a Mushoku Tensei, something unique and special that makes eating all the stale bread worthwhile. And while Recreators is certainly not without its flaws and is highly unconventional, I absolutely think it deserves recognition for daring to be different and standing out from the rest, especially when making shitty generic isekai seems to sell pretty well regardless. Thanks for watching this, and be sure to find out more about Recreators at the links below, or check out my Anime List profile for other anime suggestions.